Hello and welcome, everyone. Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm going to try to see if I can load the comments. Let me know in the comments if you are able to hear me okay. I thought I would try something a little bit different today, and I wanted to pop on live and chat about the Spellbinders club kits. So, what I'll be doing, I won't actually be doing any crafting, but what I'll do is show you all of the club kits that I happen to get. And I'll also show you the projects that I've made with them so far. And if you catch my unboxing videos, usually those are before I've had a chance to craft with the kits. So at this point, hopefully I know a little bit more about the various kits, and I'm happy to take questions. And that's why I am doing this live. If you're joining me live, definitely feel free to pop questions in the chat and let me know if you want to see something stamped out, if you want to know the dimensions of anything. I'm happy to measure, die cut. Feel free to just pop all of that in the chat and I'll do my best to answer. I don't work for Spellbinders, so I may not know all of the answers, but I will certainly try my best. And separately, I do have a flip tutorial video. So the cards that you'll see me share, you can actually see how I made those cards if you are interested in them. Hi, Meg. Thanks for joining. I don't have any particular order that I am going to share these in. So I'll just start with the clear stamp and die of the month. Hi, Abby. Nice to see you. I am streaming a little bit differently today, so I can't bring comments up on screen, unfortunately. But I'm happy to take requests as well. If there's a particular club kit that you want to see next, just let me know and I'll pop that up next. So this is the clear stamp and die of the month. So you do get the option of just getting the stamp by itself or getting it with the coordinating dies. So in this, you'll have two pretty decent size floral stamps, and they're a little bit I wouldn't say necessarily abstract, but kind of, because the swirls have a little bit of a little dotty detail in them. And with this one, you can fit a sentiment inside there. So it is large enough for that. And the card that I made using the clear stamp and the die as well is my layered card. So this is just a fun little double Z fold card with some pattern papers in the back. And you can see when they give you the dies to cut out the sentiments, it's a pretty close cut. So you can get those sentiments pretty small. So so it does fit in there. I don't know if it would necessarily fit if you were to try to stamp it in there with the in the stamp design. It might be a really, really close fit. But there all the sentiments, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you get thank you, for you, happy birthday, hello friend, and sending love. So those are the various sentiments that come. Hi, Amanda, are you Pear Blossom Press? Or I don't know if somebody else manages your channel, but good morning. Thanks for joining today. So that is the clear stamp and die of the month. You also, as I mentioned, you get dies basically to cut out every stamped image that you see Thanks, Amanda. I thought so. All right, next up, we'll just head on next to the small die of the month. And this one's kind of cool. Again, let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to interrupt. Hi, Cindy. Nice that you can join me today. So, this is the small die of the month, and you have one die plate that cuts out sort of the foundation layer is what I like to call it. And so what you can do if you want is die cut several of the floral elements and some of the leaves as well, and then layer them onto this foundational piece. Hi, Crystal. Nice for you to join us. Thank you so much. Um, Let me know if you have any questions, if you want to see measurements or anything like that. Happy to measure things out. So with these, the individual dies can layer up. And so the dies that are a little bit more solid, you can put towards the bottom, and then the dies that are have larger openings, you can layer on top. So, for example, this large flower, there's actually, 3 that you can layer, and this small flower, it's the same thing, there's actually 3. So, for, using this die set, I made my pop-up card, and I actually snipped into all of that. So, instead of using it as a, design the way that it is, meant with just that pattern, I actually snipped them all apart and then, arranged them differently in my little pop-up. So you have a little bit of a, I was going for, like, that idea of a floral bouquet that's kind of wrapped in, paper, but you can see here's a close-up. Hopefully, you can see the different shades of pink. My camera's having a hard time focusing, but, the lightest color is what I use this largest die, and there's some deboss detailing in here as well, and, um, the it's sort of a heart, um, I cut this myself. So what I did to cut this is I basically folded a piece of paper in half, and then I used a circle die and I cut out that sort of arc. So if you catch my flip video, you'll see me make that. But I think you could probably use a heart die cut and then just add some glue tabs in order to have tabs to actually attach it to your card base. Um, so there's various layers that you can cut out of different colored cardstock or ink up differently as well and get a similar look. So you've got the large flower, you've got the small flower. There's flower centers too, but I didn't actually really use those. But you have like these teeny dies that you can cut and even layer up the flower or the centers of your flowers. I kind of skipped that. Um, but this one, I don't know what it's called. I don't know if anyone in chat knows, but I don't know if that's flowers or berries or what, but I love the look of those. I used quite a few of them in here just because I thought they were kind of unique. So, and then you have this flower too. So you get 2 sizes of this shape flower. You have that flower that does have a center die, which I skipped also. And then you get 2 leaves as well. Here's the leaf. And I think I have another one behind here as well. So this is the large one, the large flower, and then I put the smaller ones out front. And what I did on this one is when you die cut these pieces, you get a lot of pieces that fall out. So here's one flower where I just assembled it with some of the pieces that fell out so that, I can pretty much use a little bit of everything. So that is the small die of the month. Again, let me know if you have any questions as I'm going through any of these. For those who maybe popped in a little bit late, I'm not actually making anything in this video. I just wanted to show the products, give everybody an opportunity to ask questions, and if they want to see anything measured out, because like I was saying, I don't use everything that's in all of these sets when I do my flip videos. This is the large die of the month, and it's great. It's got the slimline outside cutting edge. Then there's the this second largest die will cut out it's a really nice kind of a grid pattern. This portion here is going to be solid. There isn't an inside cutting edge here. Hi, Sean. Welcome. If you have to catch on replay, no worries. Thanks for popping in live, though, just to say hi. And there's along the border, there's a nice pierced dot border, which is kind of mimicked on the inside of each of these three sections here. And that card is one of my layered cards. So I've combined both the outside cutting die with the die that cuts the details out. And that gave me this black die cut piece here. And so that's that's how I got that piece. And then I didn't use them, but there are these additional dies that you can use to continue to kind of build up the design in each of these sections. I just thought that it kind of looked great as a way to sort of showcase each of these really nice floral elements, which are from the Glimmer of the month, and I'll show that in a little bit. But with these dies, you have, again, you can layer, but then these also, some of these have the stitch piercing, so you can do some stitch work on this as well. And so you've got that die. This one's really lovely, and this is a full die cut. So it will cut out all of that design. All of these dies are like that. So you can layer them, like cut this out of maybe a lighter color and then layer this one on top if you want. And then there's even a this one, which has a lot of the piercing holes for even more stitching. So if you like your stitching, these are pretty fun for that. And but you don't necessarily have to use them that way. And then you also get these leaves, which are kind of cool. So that one is solid and has a debossed line down the center. And then this one is the more intricate with the actual stem. So you can die cut that out of a different color to layer on top. Crystal, you love stitching. I love the look of it, but I'm a slow stitcher, so often I don't use the stitching dies as stitching dies, but my mom used to be a seamstress, so when I make cards for her, I'll go to the extra to the extra trouble to stitch for her. This one's pretty cool. This is a sentiment die that debosses happy birthday, and it cuts out the border. So let me show you. This is how that, oh, I don't know if that's going to show up, the debossing. But this is how it looks when you use the die as a die. And this is how it looks when you glimmer with a die. Same here. So I've just glimmered that die plate. And so these debossing sentiment plates are pretty nifty because the deboss, the area where it's debossing the sentiment, it's a little bit thicker than the metal where the cut line is. So it tends to do a pretty decent job of hot foiling. So you can see the border line or the rectangle around happy birthday is the cut line of the die. And you can see how thin that is compared to the sentiment, the happy birthday sentiment, which is the deboss portion. So, so when you see those deboss die plates, if you wanna give them a try in your Glimmer machine or your hot foiling machine, definitely do that and see what sorts of results that you get. I know Tonic, I have a bunch of Tonic die sets that have debossing plates like that, and so I'd be curious to see if they work well through the Glimmer machine as well. I didn't do it in my I didn't show myself, glimmering the deboss sentiment plate in my flip video, but I did, mention that in order to get the enough thickness for it to run through and glimmer, I did have to add a metal shim, and I have that here. So it looks like this. I forget what, where I got this or what brand it is now because I don't have it in any packaging. But, this helps get the correct amount of thickness. So, the plate order, I think, was, the die, the foil, the paper, this, and then your regular glimmer plates, the 2 glimmer plates that you would normally add. So that's how I, debossed, or foiled that. And I guess while we're at it, let me grab the Glimmer of the Month. So this, the Glimmer of the Month, I thought was really, really cool. I don't know I don't know if there are other glimmer plates out there that are designed this way, but I loved that they put basically all of the designs and the sentiment onto one glimmer plate. And you can die cut them all using a single die. So in one pass, you can get all of your glimmered elements, and then with a second pass, you can die cut all of those out. So it's super, super efficient because they nestle all of these in so that it's a very efficient use of your foil too, not just the time it takes. Um, because all of these are closer, way closer than you would be able to position them if they were individual, glimmer plates. And so, love the convenience, love how it's an efficient use of, foil and time, and what you get out of that is, these floral elements, and the floral elements are design-wise, they're, a little bit similar to the small die of the month, and they have like those same flourishes, they have the same designs, the same type of flowers. So this is silver onto white, and then with the leftover foil, I foiled the leftover piece onto black. Didn't get a really good foiling. This is pretty distressed, but I don't really mind that too much. And I have one more sample. Here's another one with some of that distressed silver onto black. And I foiled a bunch of extras. So, because I didn't, what I normally do is when I get my kits, I'll just, especially with the glimmers, I'll just glimmer up a bunch. Without knowing what I'll actually make with it. But here's gold onto black, and this panel is USA 2. So if you need a sense for scale, that's that all fits on a USA 2. And so really great size, glimmers really nicely, both onto color and onto white cardstock. Abby, you haven't well, I think it just depends if you like hot foiling, the look of it, and you think that you'll use it. I, I didn't think I would love it as much as I do, um, and now that I have it, I use it a lot, so so I guess it just depends on whether you think you'll use it. I pull it out quite often during the holidays too, because I like to add a lot of glimmer and shine on my holiday cards, so I do end up using it quite a bit on holiday cards. So that's the glimmer of the month, and I hope they do more of these where it's all on one plate and then one die to cut everything out because I just found it super fast and super convenient um, to have them designed that way. Then we have the embossing folder of the month, and it's a nice large size. So, if you're new, this is a relatively new club kit. They introduced it this year, and I've been loving these because I love the size of them. It's 5.5 by 8.5. So you can emboss half a US letter sheet of cardstock. And then if you like to make small cards like I do, you've got two panels built in. Um, but the other nice thing is not so much with this design because this is a repeating design, but with this size, if you do make smaller cards, it is kind of nice to be able to position your card in the folder and then just get sort of the design elements that you're most interested in. But this one, what I like about it is that there isn't a correct orientation. So you can use it in this orientation and get the two panels out of it, and you can use it this way as well. So that's totally really versatile. And the way that I did this card is I inked up my embossing folder with some clear Versamark ink, and I did the letterpress technique. So I inked it up with clear Versamark, put my card panel inside, ran that through my die cutting machine, and then I put clear embossing powder over, and I don't know if the shine is coming through, but that gives you not only that darker, so where the card is pushed into, or recessed, that's where the clear ink went, and so you get a darker color, and it's really subtle when it's just the ink. But when it's the ink plus the clear embossing powder that's melted, it actually, is a lot more noticeable, the, contrast between dark and light. So, and you get, because it's embossed, you kind of get that sort of enamel texture as well. So that is the embossing folder of the month. And last one is the APG die of the month. So, oh, Amanda, you took you took the plunge and got a hot foil machine. Cool. Yeah, that's exactly why I got the Glimmer machine, because I was using, just your basic Amazon laminator, and I was sort of getting a little bit frustrated with the results I was getting. Sometimes it would be beautiful, and then other times not so much. And I found that it had a lot to do with when I printed, just the graphic, whether it was like a really thin line or darker lines or more solid areas, because there's more ink, there's more toner to grab onto the foil. But with the Glimmer machine, sort of like what you can see here, the line on the cut line of this die plate is a really thin, fine line. And so I feel like the Glimmer machine gives you kind of better results in that sense, because the various designs go from like really, really thin, delicate lines to more solid areas, and it looks phenomenal. It might take like playing around with for sure in the beginning just to get your perfect combination of paper. So I use the Hammermill color copy paper that's super smooth. It's 100 pound, and I get really, really consistent results in my machine. Everybody's machine is going to be a little bit different, but I've been really loving the results that I get, and much, much more consistent results too. Um, oh. Solid plate for toner foiling. Interesting. I don't know how to but you put that through your laminator, Amanda? Yeah, you have to teach me that. Because the nice thing about using the laminator to hot foil with is that you can, like, basically print out any design. And then, so kind of, lots more versatility in that sense. So this is the APG die of the month, and I lost so much footage while I was filming my flip video. I thought I was recording, and either I wasn't recording or I'm always having to kind of delete files because I run out of space on my laptop, and so I either wasn't recording or I accidentally deleted my video footage as I was putting this together. But the APG die of the month is a really nice, it's a vignette style die. So this is the box side if you're going to create it as the 3D vignette. And and so you can use it that way, or I mean, this clock element is really large, so that could definitely be a card on its own. I used it as my interactive card, and I put the little alarm bells on action wobblers. So you get the little wobbly effect of when the alarm goes off. And to get this to work on the size action wobbler that I have, I did have to layer up 2 layers of the bell just to get this so that it's high enough to cover the action wobbler. And Crystal, is this one calling your name? It's super cute, I think. And it's large too. I was doing some photo research because I wanted to find like a vintagey color. Because I don't think they make alarm clocks like this anymore. So I wanted to find like some inspiration for what vintage color combinations it used to come in. But you do get in here, I haven't used everything, but I used a lot, and there's, what's cool about this set is beyond the alarm clock, you get a lot of basic dies. So that's a plain circle, and that's what cuts out this cream, that's the outside cutting edge for the cream. This ring with the numbers, this just cuts into your card. It does not have the outside or the inside cutting edge. So that gives you the outside cutting edge for it. Here's another circle, plain circle die that gives you the inside cutting edge for this. And then you get this nifty die, which is hard to see on black like I have it, but it just debosses a pattern into your card. It's just lines, like little tick marks all the way around the circle. And so that fits inside there. So that's just a decorative one. Then you have another plain circle die. So this black ring here, I used those 3 dies right there. And then you have another circle, plain circle die. So if you don't have a set of nested circle dies, you're gonna get 4 in this die set. And just in terms of size. They're not super big, but they're still pretty decent size. So this runs about 2 and 2 7/8 or so, just under 3 maybe. And then the smallest one is about 1 and 3/16. So decent size, I think. So that is this one, and then you do get several sentiments in this one as well. So I used It's Your Time, but I used that, well, it makes sense with the theme of the clock, but also it's the only one that I think will fit in the clock stand here. So you have, and what's nice with these is you can use it the way that I've used it, where you cut the sentiment into your card and then back. So this is two of the die stand, one cut out of green, one cut out of black, and out of the top layer, the black layer, I've die cut the sentiment into it, and you can see It's Your Time is the one in the middle, and that's the shortest. That's the shortest one. The other sentiments are Good Times Ahead, and this third one here is Rise and Shine. The other thing that I didn't use was you actually get 3 different clock hands. I just put 2 on mine. There's actually an even a shorter one. Actually, I guess I should have used the shorter one because it's the same design as the medium-sized one. So, oops, that might have made a little bit more sense. Because these 2 hands have that little opening, but this clock hand, it's solid all the way through. So, I'm not sure why. I guess there's hours, minutes, and seconds. Um, but yes, so you have those, and then I think otherwise I used, oh, I forgot this one. This is the this is probably the prettiest die in there, but this again is a design die that cuts into your card, and so if you want the outside cutting edge, you would want to combine it with the largest die, and to get an inside cutting edge, you would use the largest circle die. But I skipped that on mine because I wanted to keep it a little bit more simple. But there is sort of a coordinating small little design die that cuts out this intricate little detail here for the center of your clock. But you could use it for anything really, outside of the clock design. So that is the last club kit that I get is I don't get the card kit of the month. So that's pretty much it. I don't know if there are any other questions, anything that anyone wants to see a second time. I have, again, my flip video. If you want to see any of these cards made, you can check that out. That's already live. And otherwise, hopefully this has been useful to have a little bit of a close-up look at the club kits. I will try to do this monthly, so December 1st, I'll just pop on live for a quick little chat for anyone who's interested. If you're catching this on replay, drop me any questions that you might have in the comments below, and I'll try my best to answer them. So I'll give it a couple minutes because I see everything on a little bit of a delay. So I'll give it a minute to see if there are any final questions. Thank you so much, everybody who joined me live. I really appreciate it. I'm always a little nervous to go on live. Even if there's just one person, I would be really happy. So it's so nice that so many folks have joined. I really appreciate seeing so many friendly names, and it makes it a lot less nerve-wracking to go live. Alright, I think that's it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Amanda. Thank you, Meg, Crystal, Abby, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, and hope the rest of your week is great too. Take care, everyone. Bye.